see you all here. So this is a teaser talk for tomorrow's training session. So tomorrow I'm going to be taking whoever turns up through a little bit of Enthought's training in using some of the pieces of the Enthought tool suite. Okay. So this talk has two purposes. One is to tell you what to expect tomorrow if you come. The other is actually just to introduce people to the Enthought tool suite, because I think a lot of people don't know that it exists, and it's a truly wonderful piece of software. When I was hired by Enthought about a year ago, so I went through all the interviews, and at every stage of the interview they were asking, have you used traits? Have you used the Enthought tool suite? No, what is that? And the more times somebody asked, the more I thought, I really need to find out what this is. And in the last year, of course, I've been living in it. So we built all our applications using the Enthought tool suite. Okay, so for those of you who haven't heard Enthought's name, we're in the business of creating scientific, sometimes financial, mostly scientific applications using Python. These are typically applications that involve a lot of calculation, so a lot of numerics. So we have mathematicians, scientists in our core team. But they're also often applications that require a nice graphical front end. So a lot of what we do is also sticking on nice GUIs or creating GUIs that can sit on top of the data backend and look pretty, which is what it's supposed to do. So our toolchain looks a little bit like this. We work with Python 2.7 mostly, sometimes 2.6, mostly 2.7. Working with NumPy and SciPy, so of course Enthought is heavily involved in the NumPy and SciPy development. We have many of the key NumPy people on our team. And the Enthought tool suite, which is what I'm here to talk about. And I would be lying if I didn't say we also, of course, use endless third-party libraries, so any given project we're going to be using a whole bunch of other things beyond these. But these are the three core things we use. So the tool suite itself is open source. You can get it for free. So free as in beer, free as in speech. BSD-like license. It's kind of large, so 500,000 lines of code. So it's not nothing. Okay, it's not huge, but it's not nothing. Here are a couple of addresses you can get it from. If you want to, you can go straight to Enthought's site, and you'll be able to navigate, and you can download it from there. Or you can go straight to GitHub. So github.com/Enthought. Yes, we had the curial GitHub argument at some point late last year, and it did go on for absolutely ages, but in the end, everything ended up on Git. So, and Flash News ETS 4.0 was released yesterday. So, major new release of ETS yesterday. It actually didn't change a whole lot. What we've done is shifted some of the packages around. There were some namespace issues that we wanted to fix. And because of all that shifting around, there's a greater probability of things breaking, and so we decided to bump the version up from 3 to 4. Okay. Do feel free to ask questions at any point. Don't have to wait until the end of the talk. So, all right, so here are some of the key Enthought tool suite components. Traits. Traits is what I'm going to spend most of the rest of today talking about, and what a large portion of the training tomorrow will be about. Traits is where we'll live. All the projects we create are built on top of traits, I think, without exception. So traits is about type declaration. It's about a whole lot of things. It's very difficult to compress all the ideas into a few things. It's about type declarations, about validation, about notification. On top of traits, we have traits GUI or traits UI, and its job is to produce ugly UIs very, very fast. So the idea is you can produce UIs with really, really minimal effort. We'll see an example of this, a couple of examples. And you can create beautiful UIs, it's just they take a little bit of work. So you get your ugly UI up there running within half a day. Beautiful UI, okay, now you're going to be wanting to mess around with the layout for quite a while and get everything really beautiful. It's all about rapid development, rapid deployment. We get something that works very, very fast, and now you tweak it to make it work fast. Chaco is our interactive 2D plotting tool. Really provides high interactivity. It deals with large data sets. It's rather more responsive than something like Matplotlib. So we'll see a quick demo of that. And Mayavi is a 3D visualization tool. It's actually, you can use it either as a standalone tool to visualize data, or you can embed it into traits-based applications and how to really use embedded. So, okay, so straight into traits. I just want to give you a flavor of what traits is about. Like I said, it's difficult to encapsulate in a few words. Here's the bad old way of doing things. We want to create a parrot class. So parrots have a state, they're either alive or dead, or possibly just resting, or pushing up the daisies, or whatever. And they have a weight, just because I wanted to have, well, we typically deal with numeric applications, so I wanted something numeric to show you. So they've got a weight in kilograms, or metric here. But there's a method which we haven't actually implemented, we'll make that do something later, called boom. You want your parrot to boom, well, this parrot wouldn't boom, go boom if you know the best. Okay, bad old way of doing it, you've got your init method, so you know you want a state and a weight, you pass those into the init constructor, you assign them as attributes on the object, and then I instantiate like this, so now I'm creating my parrot, it's dead, it's got a weight of 3.2. Okay. The first thing that traits is, so over on the right hand side, this is the same code, once you know some minor differences that turned up at the last minute, like volts setting to voltage. So, same code, but using traits. And the first thing the first way I think of traits is sort of a data description language. You have this really nice declarative interface. Instead of the under init, which is kind of procedural, pass parameters in, assign them to the objects. Here I just declare a parrot is going to have a state. It's going to be an enumerated item, so enum comes from the traits library. It's going to be one of the two strings, dead or alive. So it's going to be a string, it's either going to be dead or it's going to be alive. And it's going to have a weight, and that weight is going to be a float. Okay. So it's a really beautiful declarative way of declaring your data. And I think this is very attractive to scientists who coming in maybe haven't met Python before, that they can describe their object very directly and neatly in this model. So it's got a state, it's got a weight, and I can again instantiate it. One of the curiosities of traits, so there's obviously some magic going on here, lots of descriptors, there's a meta class somewhere behind the scenes. One thing you'll know if you're a Python expert is that when you create a class, it's just rolling out all the pieces of the class into a gigantic dict and handing that off to type at some level. Dicts are unordered, so there's nothing here that tells it that state, that state should occur before weight or vice versa. So what consequences is you have to use keyword. You have to pass everything by keyword at the bottom here. But that's actually not too much of a price to pay. And especially when it comes to reading that code, it's really nice to have all those keywords in there. It makes a difference. Okay. So that's traits. How am I doing on time? Halfway through, perfect, because I'm about halfway through the slides. Alright, traits theory. Instant UIs. I guess I promised fast UIs, we've just upgraded that to instant UIs. Same code up there, that same code from the previous slide. I've added absolutely nothing. Except at the bottom, here's my main loop, if A equals main. I'm creating a parrot, I'm calling it poly for no particular good reason. Passing in a weight. And then there's this one extra call, poly.configure traits. And now what this does is it pops up a little UI for my parrot instance. And this is amazing. I've done nothing to do with UIs here. All I've done is describe this parrot object. I haven't said anything about how I want this to be displayed, but it's constructed a little UI for me on the fly. And then, of course, as soon as you get fussy, yes, you can make things read-only, you can rearrange things to your heart's delight, move things, change the layout. All sorts of keyword parameters to display things in a completely different way. Do I want checkboxes instead of a pull-down menu? Do I want a slider instead of a text box that I put the weight in? So customize your heart's delight afterwards, but you create UIs really quickly. And